Millions of people have been diagnosed as suffering from addictions to gambling, everything from betting on horses to gambling at casinos. But psychologists in the field are also working with a growing number of investors who are seeking therapy for another type of obsessive behavior, trading stocks and other risky assets excessively in their online brokerage accounts. Today, we're fortunate to have with us Tony Marini. He's a senior gambling therapist at UK-based Castle Craig Hospital's addiction clinic. The world-renowned addiction clinic, which works with patients in Europe as well as the United States, has been cited by leading medical publications for offering some of the most cutting-edge programs to help gamblers around the world. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure, Murray. Nice to be here. Thank you for asking me.
You betcha. I'd like to start out by asking, is the root cause for what has been called a wave of new gamblers trading in stocks connected to this rise of the internet and related online technologies?
So personally, my understanding of this is, it's 24/7, it's the new technology, it's in your bedroom, it's at work, it's in your car. So absolutely. And, in the day and age just now that we have, you can do this anytime, anywhere in the world. So, absolutely.
And how do you parse between somebody who just trades a lot and somebody who is really obsessive about it or doing something in an extreme level?
So, it starts off, highly fulfilling. So we're regular trading, it's exciting, simple to use, So, and we're seeing things that are hugely rewarding, on the internet, in papers, magazines, and so forth. And it stimulates us. What happens then, it becomes more fulfillment. And then we get into the risky use. The mood swings, the irritability, we start being late for things, late for meetings. We build up negative emotions, comparing ourselves to other people as well. Now, the problem is once we do that, and you've got to remember, there's only a certain percentage of people will cross that line into the addiction. It's like any drug addict, any alcoholic, any compulsive gambler. There is a percentage of the people that will become obsessed. Now, what we're seeing is with, the internet use, though, is it's so easy to get hooked up much quicker in it. So there's, the percentage is slightly higher. Once you have crossed that line into the addiction, and that is when, people start to become isolated, withdrawn. Now, that is a frantic behavior. So they start trading, at high risks, trying to recoup their money.
So is that line between addiction and just trading a lot pretty fine? I mean, is there, should people be concerned about it if they're trading in their accounts?
So you've got to remember, there is signs for this, Are they physically present but emotionally distant? From relationships at work? Are they constantly, late for work or leaving early? Or, a lot of the time what we're seeing with this is, somebody will have 2 or 3 screens at their desk, or they'll have their phone out constantly as well, trading. So there are signs, are they isolating away? Do they have social anxiety? So there's certain aspects to somebody's behavior that's not normally there.
And some of the examples you've told me in the past involve people who were professionals, smart, intelligent, well-educated, and didn't think of themselves as gamblers, but they just started noticing themselves that they were trading more and more, and it became a problem.
Absolutely. So it's like, it's just normal for them. I'm investing, I'm trading. But, once they start to lose money, then they start trying to chase it. And, they just feel as if, I've got to make more and more trades to get that money back. Or if they're winning, they start rewarding themselves. And what we're finding is people that are starting to make money on trading, they start to reward themselves with that cross addiction into cocaine, alcoholism, a lot of champagne, going out to nightclubs, buying themselves things. And then all of a sudden they start to drop in their money starts to fade away because, they've made lousy trades due to, their cross addiction. Then that frantic behavior starts to come in again. Also, with trades, we're also seeing a lot of people, using more porn sites, that sex coming into it, using prostitutes and so forth.
Well, I know a growing part of your program is cryptocurrencies, correct?
Correct. We've seen a much larger increase into people, crossing that fine line into the obsessive mental disorder into the crypto. And that is, much faster than normal trading. It's much easier to get into the normal trading and the fluctuations of the highs and lows. So that is, when our brain really loves that adrenaline, the dopamine, the endorphins, we actually love that. And our brain tells us we want more of it. So the highs and the lows, are so quick that you can lose so much money so quickly or make some money so quickly. So we, especially if you've crossed that line, we want to do it as many times as possible.
Sure. And that's where the addiction comes in.
Absolutely. It's that total, dependency, complete dependency of needing to look at the prices. What are they at? What is my money at? Is it going up and down? And I've seen it so much, I mean, we had, I think I told you earlier on about, 3 years ago, we had somebody in here for cocaine and alcohol, and he was, total abstinent with it. And then he came back in 6 months ago, due to the cryptocurrency. He started trading and he made himself €500,000. And then he went into, so I'm just going to reward myself with some cocaine and champagne. Okay. And then started making absolute ludicrous trading and lost the whole lot. But he was hooked back onto the drugs and alcohol. So that could take us back to a primary addiction. We had a young lad, 36-year-old. He's a professional footballer, and he had been in our group for 6 years, and last year started thinking, right, I'm going to put some of my investment, because he started to get all his money back, and I'll just invest in some of this crypto. Mm-hmm. It took him to losing all of his money, embezzling £60,000 off his father, and still thinking he was just trading and investing and not gambling. And he came in and told the group, and I said to him, "You're just gambling." And he's like, "Oh, Jesus." So I am. He could not see the difference. He got totally obsessed with the crypto.
So trading, whether it's crypto or stocks or any risky investments, it's a real slippery slope that people are playing with in terms of their addictions, their emotions, their behavior.
Absolutely. If you think, it starts highly fulfilling, goes more into that risky use, into the desperation, complete dependency into it. And then that takes us, and many, many gamblers, because let's call this gambling because that's what it is. There are 3 times as many gamblers commit suicide through any other addiction. That is the number one. People do not realize it. And you lose so much so quickly through gambling. There is only so much drugs and alcohol we can take, but we can gamble until we cannot get our hands on any other money by, borrowing, by stealing, lots and lots of people embezzling in their companies.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Tony.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Murray.